Good morning, everyone. Let me know if you're there. So somebody's thumb is there, but I don't know who that is. So just say hello and tell me where you are tuning in. There's the second thumb. Now there's Prince. I thought so. Yes, I did see the analogy of it, not the actual trailer, but the analyzation of it, and it's exciting. Hello, Don. Good morning to you. Vartan, hello, dear. You haven't been to our get-together on Saturday or Sunday, Vartan, for a while. Hope all is well. I was actually early today and everything was set up. I had my tea here. I was just fiddling around with the angle of this camera thingy, and at the last moment my hand hit my hit my cup and the whole thing fell, and luckily nothing broke, but the whole beautiful tea that I had prepared just flew up in the air, and so it took me a few minutes to clean up and then back on track. Hello, Ali. Hola, senor. Ali, your name is very interesting. Ali Jafar, and then Heisenberg, and then you say hola. So total confusion. Ali Jafar, then Heisenberg German, then hola Spanish, Mexican speaking. So a good combination of representation of many different backgrounds and roots and nationalities. Well, I guess I couldn't use the force to stop it, but I used the force to drop it. That's what happened. It's funny. I was just trying to tidy it up a little bit. It must have gotten the the back of the. That was a different cup anyhow. Yes, that's right. You're worldwide, Ali. So how was your week, guys? How is everything in life? Hope all is well. So important to have some moments of tranquility once in a while. Create that for yourself so you can have perspective of what really is going on in your life and what is important, what is not, as we're always bombarded with things all around, different things, different subjects, different worries, different concerns, different news, different hopes, and different challenges. So you get confused and unfocused about what is tranquility among all these. What should I do? Sometimes you end up actually resorting to being fearful and worried and all the times, because thinking that if you're worried and fearful, then nothing would fear you because you're already in fear and worry. So things won't happen as long as you worry about them. And that's the misconception that we all have. So instead, spend some time in exercising and bringing new fresh energy to yourself. Spend some time with the nature and try to get out of what is your mind and thoughts are being bombarded with and suggested to by the events of the world, or the thoughts that comes to your head and worries that you may be facing. And find your balance, some meditation, exercise, good conversations, positive, hopeful, and planning your steps every day and following what you want to do to reach your goal, and get yourself out of that zone of obliviousness or confusion of the bombardments of all these whatever is happening out there, and the information and concerns and worries that come to your mind, and bring your balance. Focus on what you really cherish rather than what you're supposed to cherish in order to fit or follow the goals that has been put in our head, that a good life looks like this. No, good life looks like what you want it to look like. Just simple things, tranquility, and don't get carried away with the currents of bullshit that is going on and tries to confuse us. So spend some time with the nature, with meditation, with exercise, good people, good conversation, cup of tea, and simple things. And find happiness and security in simple things. It's much easier and much more available. Okay, now let's see if we have any question. Aman? Good painting behind. You were talking about the the rider and the horse. Well, there's a story behind that. That's my teacher. That's my riding teacher, riding master, instructor. He was like a father to me. And not that he was my father, but he was a friend of my father, and I respected him so much, and he was such a good role model all through my childhood. So he was like a father to many of the students of the riding school, and we were all students of equestrian, and he was a master trainer, and he was so loved by thousands of people, and so good at what he does, what he did. Horse whisperer. He was a colonel in the army, very honorable, very educated, graduate of the military school of riding in France, Saumur, and he was one of the top riders in the world. And I always considered him like a father and followed his manners, learned a lot from him. And of course, it was a wonderful time growing up with horses and training and so on. So that's him. Vartan, happy Easter to you too, dear. So, do we have any questions today? Ali says, last weekend I got on a date. Oh, okay, congratulations. It went great, okay. But the girl then pulled away. It usually happens, that's okay. Most girls simply know that they're aware that there are many people who can be interested in them, because this is what happens in society. Everybody is zooming on, and the girls have realized that instead of being choosing someone for their merits and qualities, they are now being convinced somehow that they should try as many as possibly they can in their life, because that would make them feel maybe confident. And the same thing, boys think that the more girls they date, then they will bring more of a life taste or confidence to them, which is all nonsense, because after a while, no matter how many girls you date or how many guys the girls date, you will see eventually it has to come to a complete harmony and satisfaction on mental level, consciousness level, and the physical exercises and physical experiences will not add anything to them. In fact, it conditions them to constantly move from one to another. So sometimes when the girl is not so confident, or if the guy is not so confident, when the other side is expressing interest, genuine interest, and is not holding back, a lack of confidence makes the other partner, other side, other part of the date pull back, thinking that, okay, if he wants me, I must be so hot. But because I think I'm not really that great, so the fact that he wants someone that is not really that great, because that's what I think, therefore he must not be that great, so I don't want him. That's what happens. The old story of, I don't like to belong to a club that takes me as a member. So if the club takes me as a member, it must not be such a good club, because I don't think I'm that hot. So probably, maybe that is what happened. She was not ready, mature, or not confident enough to reciprocate your interest, honesty, and emotions. And that's okay. You go on and be more reserved until you see that reciprocation is happening. Reciprocation is happening. Now, Alan, hello dear Mary. Hello Alan. Hope you're doing good. Questions comes now. Okay, good. Let the questions begin. Prince says, sir, you advocate to help people around the world to help us seek the truth. But what do you do with the truth afterwards, after knowing it? What do you want to do with the truth? Truth is like asking me, what do you do when you have a flashlight? Now there's dark in front of you in the jungle, and you're looking for a flashlight, light. And what do you do when you find the light? Well, you illuminate your path and be able to negotiate it better, using that tool, using the truth, using the knowledge. But depends on what is the truth in your mind. The truth, for me, one of the actual truth in the world is to understand what is the truth of thought and consciousness and ego and desire and fears. What are they doing to us that we are so agitated and fearful and unsure and not confident and worried and believing our thoughts and falling for it and confused? Once we know the mechanism of the material process and the relationship between thoughts and consciousness, fears, desire, ego, how they're interrelated, how they affect each other, how they affect our judgments and our perceptions in life. How should we see things as they are? Are we looking at them for what they are, or are we looking at them with the eye of the past? Are we perceiving them for something else that we experienced in the past? Are we projecting them, modifying them, and conjuring up something that would hope to happen, or we hope it doesn't happen in the future, and that takes us away from living at the moment and understanding the flow of life, and instead we're either in the past or in the future. If we understand all these and many other more parts on these topics, then we are able to know how our machine works, and in relation to the life, we are able to navigate our thoughts, our machine, our ways, our understanding better and be more clear, as if we have really opened our eyes and we can see and decide where to step, not to step, ignore it, pass it, take it, enjoy it, jump over it, and so on and so forth. Not to be fooled anymore. That's why we want to know the truth. The truth is about understanding what this is all about, how it functions, what it does, and how better we can know about it to illuminate our path for this journey of life. Now, Ali, that's a very closed question. It needs clarification as far as specification. So specifically, what are you talking about? Ali says, when we talk of truth, could it be absolute or does vary? Well, as you know, we are living in a relative world. We don't live in an absolute universe. So if we don't live in an absolute universe, it's a relative world. Darkness, sunshine, hunger, full tummy, pain, comfort, cold, heat, thirst, and opposite of it, whatever that is. Sunshine and shade. All of that, and therefore, then there is pretty much not too many things being absolute. Everything changes, and we're living in a relative world, so everything pretty much is relative. But some things about how things work, like our brain, well, if we understand it, then we understand it. Even though that is dynamic, it's a field of the known, and the field of the known is constantly added to it, so there are new things. So knowledge is limited, so therefore we cannot say, since knowledge is limited, we cannot say that everything is absolute, because knowledge is not limited. It's always changing and more and so on. So the truth today, right now, this moment, now, is what it could be, but according to what else will happen, the other information, other changes, other knowledge, other things that happens and dynamically changes it, that what it was the truth maybe a second ago may not be, but may still be if the things haven't affected it. So something like that we can conclude. Excuse me. So, is our meeting today very private? Looks like I don't know how many people we have here. I guess maybe people are busy cooking Easter cookies or preparing for Easter. So it's the middle of their day. So I guess we would maybe have a shorter discussion today. But nevertheless, that's good that we get together and share some things and enjoy a few minutes together. It's actually happened to be a little bit of a bright day today. Not sunny, but not that foggy or rainy as it is usually here. So guys, muster up some questions. Otherwise, then we will run out of time and then off to go the next week. Alan says, what do you think about keeping pictures of ex-girlfriend? Depends how you guys left it. If it was a mutual separation, both are happy and moved on, well, maybe you want to keep it memory if you like. But really it doesn't serve anything other than the fact that you say, oh, I used to have a girlfriend looked like this. Otherwise, all memories are dead, really. It would be like keep looking back and trying to drive forward. Well, you're going to hit somewhere. So don't distract yourself. If that relationship is over and finished, eventually you got to throw those pictures out. You know, if that's going to bother you. If remembering her is not a pain for you, it's there. It's part of your journey. So, and he continues, I still have them and I know that it's not good idea to keep them, but somehow I can't find that strength to delete them. What is your advice? I see. Because you think if you delete them, you have deleted the trophy or the brownie points that you have given yourself by having been with this girl. So you think she is a trophy, or she is the one that gives you worth and value. That's why you want to keep on to that, to show this is me, but you show her picture. This is me through relationship with the girl. Isn't that silly? Because you are independent. Your value and worth is depending on how you affect your life, follow your dreams and paths, and accomplish your task, and affect the society and people around you positively. That's what you're all about. You're not about, this relationship represents me, so I gotta keep this as a diploma. Learn to detach yourself from things that are no good for you anymore. There are many things that are good for you in life. Stay with them. Enjoy that. Consider them as part of your identity. We all have certain stories and certain experiences, but doesn't mean that those experiences should be the high point of our life, because they don't exist anymore. If they don't exist anymore, why am I associating myself to something that no longer is? But I am, and my whole life is ahead of me. In my case, part of it is gone already. So why would you want to attach yourself to something that no longer is? But you are, and therefore you're in motion, you're a master, you're the creator, you're the negotiator, you are the inventor of your life, of your path, what you choose, where you go, what you do. Focus on ahead. That's what it was. It was ahead when you were there, but no longer is ahead, is behind you. So why you keep wanting to look at your, behind to to see where you're going? It won't happen. Don't confuse yourself. Stay focused. If she's left you and, she didn't pay enough respect for the relationship you guys had, and you guys have severed it, it wasn't in good terms, then get rid of it. Deleting it, I know, you think, oh, it's a treasure. This girl, look at her, how she looked, and, we're holding hand and we're kissing, or we're this and that, so that's me, because that makes me feel good about myself. No, you should make yourself feel good about yourself, not being with her. It is you who is the star here in your life. Yeah? If you understand that, you can easily delete them. Yeah. You don't want to delete them. You feel like attached because that is your identity. It's silly. How could someone who is adding nothing to your life could be the value of your life? It doesn't make sense, does it? But you want to consider it as it is by holding on to it. If you want to hold it on to it, just put it in an album, or have it in a USB. Take it off of your computer, put it on USB, and put the USB somewhere and delete it from your computer, so you won't be seeing it. Delete it from your phone, but you can have it on USB and file it somewhere, like the old albums that we used to have. I mean, in my age. So the pictures were there. We would hardly look at them. We wouldn't even know where the album is. So do the same thing. Put it on USB and file the USB somewhere, if that's really so important to you. But in reality, once you get rid of it, you get rid of it. Unless, you just want to say, oh, that's a hot girl I used to be with. Okay, fine. Otherwise, there's no value to it, and it doesn't add any value to you. You're just roaming around your own memory, which is dead, doesn't exist. So why do you want to be attached to something that doesn't exist? It's hard enough when you're attached to something that is, attachment is a challenge in life anyhow, a stumbling block in many cases, let alone that it doesn't even exist and you still want to be attached to it. It's like, pulling a big weight on you when you want to swim in the ocean. It's not going to let you go where you want to go. So you got the message, I hope. Ali says, what would be the best course of action when a girl pulls away? Nothing. You pull away as well, because it's free world. If she doesn't have her heart in it, if for some reason she's not wise enough, mature enough, or appreciate a good quality, good relationship, like a a gentleman like yourself, and if that's how you've been, therefore, what's the use of trying to go forward? She pulled away, that's it. You pull away, go on your way. That's your cue. You know, respect her wishes and respect yourself as well. Because the number one criteria for being with someone, have a relationship, is that you don't want to be in a relationship with someone who doesn't want to be in a relationship with you. That's number one. So if she pulls away, that's a cue. You don't want to be pursuing someone who pulled away. She had her chance, she saw it, she doesn't want it, the hell with it. You go on. Somebody else. Find bonding with someone who wants to bond with you, not with someone who wants to just make herself feel good by thinking that if I pull away, then I feel more important. Maybe genuinely you guys simply don't match up, and that's fine. Or she thinks you don't match up, that's fine. Maybe you're interested in her physical shape and you guys didn't hit it up mentally, or maybe she's not confident enough about herself to be able to reciprocate to a genuine emotion and a relationship. Either way, whatever it is, free world. Respect her wishes, but respect yourself. Go on, find someone more suitable for yourself. Ellen. Hello, Ellen. How about self-worth? How can I build that up again after destructive, toxic relationship? Destructive, toxic relationship has nothing to do with your self-worth. Other people's shortcomings and behavior, other people's needs or behavior, which encourages them to behave and act and react in a certain way in their life, or interact with you, or treat you in a certain way in life, it doesn't have a reflection on who you are, what your worth and value is, or does not represent any shortcomings in you. It's a reflection on them. So if it was toxic, you got rid of it, hallelujah, go on with your business. You know, it's no different than having, I don't know, a handful of rice, and you clean it before you cook it, and you find some garbage, shit, worm, or whatever it is in there, stones. You get rid of it and you cook it and get rid of it, you know, the garbage, and then keep the good. So this, if the whole life is that bunch of rice, sometimes you find some garbage in it. You get rid of the garbage and you go on, you know, rest of your life. It doesn't mean just because you found some stone in the rice pack, oh, the whole thing is not usable. If you found some toxic relationship in your journey of life, doesn't mean the whole life is now messed up. No, you get rid of the toxic relationship and you continue the rest of your life. And then as you go, every time is unsuitable, toxic, destructive, get rid of that, move away, wear off, change direction, navigate. Life is a navigation of a captain on his boat in the oceans, and you need to know where to wear off, how to change course to better currents, softer, smoother, better shores, prettier islands, nicer, calmer, with more food and nourishments and sustenance. You don't have to be where the sharks are. You don't have to be where the tsunamis and the waves are. You know, you got to be a good captain to know from the stars and from your experiences how to navigate so you won't be stuck with these sort of situations, environments, and the toxic relationships and so on. We're away from them, and then find a good places and good experiences. Doesn't mean that, oh, there was a storm. Now, I'm out of the storm, but I don't know what to do. Well, there's no storm anymore. Keep going. Every time you see a storm, we're off. Go away. Vartan says, excellent explanation, Michelle. Good. Ali says, I'll keep that in mind. Good. Do that. Jacob says, how to find purpose in one's life. Jacob, we talked about this in detail in some of the other videos. As you guys know, there's over 450 videos on my YouTube channel, which the link is up there, right where we're talking. Up there, there's a link of the YouTube channel. And of course, sometimes I put some of the videos on this Facebook page, and you can always go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and read sample chapter of the books that I've written and see which one of the books has, and the table of contents are there too. You can look at them, see which one helps you to answer all these questions. And they're in paper version and ebook, a very nominal fee for the ebook. You can purchase it and then see all these things. There are about 360 pages on the Me, My Psyche, and I. Me, My Psyche, and I looks like this. And then there's Transient Thoughts and Me. That's a different book about things that comes to your mind, the thoughts that you have nothing to do with them and you wonder what they are, what they represent, and so on. All these books have things about these purposes of life, how to deal with life and to find the purpose. But in general, if you go on my YouTube channel and key in purpose of life or something of that nature, you will have a list of things that you will see which one fits better. That conversation here is going to be a long one. So perhaps maybe another time, or if you couldn't find it on video, send me a note on one of the comments on one of the videos, and I'll try to find that particular video and send you the link for it. Ellen, thank you so much. You're welcome. I'm going to be a better captain. Yes. Happy Easter to you from Norway. Oh, Norway! What a beautiful place. I always wanted to see Norway. I wonder, maybe I have, because we used to travel with my mother when we were children, with my brother. And we have traveled many places in Europe. Norway, I might have. I'm not sure. But I heard a lot about it. I know there are very pretty girls there. That's for sure. That's for sure. One more bonus to visit that place, right? So, Jacob, you're welcome, Jacob. My pleasure. Alan says, thank you for the answer. I'm meeting with a new girl. Aha, you're a busy man. She's kind and she has a good heart, but it seems like we have different political views. Who doesn't? Do you think it's a good idea to be in a relationship with someone in long term who has a different political ideology? Of course. Political ideologies are often bullshit because they are just a way for you to feel that you're finding psychological security, but who knows, that person may change her mind or you may change your mind, unless we're talking about some fundamental values in how the world and nations treating each other, mistreatment, disasters they create on other people's heads, and unfairness, atrocities. Well, these are not political views. These are simply issues about humanity and understanding the value of each human and the rights each human has to freedom, to safety, to tranquility, peace, and necessities as everybody else has for basics of life. So these are different topics. And political views, well, what? Like you like this political party and she likes that other political party, but they're both in the same country. Who gives a damn? Most of these things are all power-monger driven issues that political parties are trying to, but see if you and her are in tune with values in humanity, if you understand the needs of humanity being the same everywhere. Everybody needs to be safe, peaceful, basics of life, provisions being met, food, shelter, comfort, safety, human rights, all these things that are really essential. The opinions being different, well, that could be a conversation piece, unless you try to think that that political party's view is more important than your relationship, how you feel about each other, and defending that in front of your own understanding of where this relationship is going, well, then you're derailing it. Neither one of you should really put so much emphasis on political views of things other than peace and tranquility and respect for humanity everywhere. That should be the only political understanding of anybody. If we all focus on love and tranquility and respect, safety, and all the good things that we all ourselves needed for the other ones, the world wouldn't have that much of a problem. And all the political parties basically on focusing on what they want to do, what they want to have in order to be in power, and bamboozle some people to get votes, and therefore they'll be empowered, then they do whatever the shit they want to do. And we have one of these instances right now in this day and age. You know what I'm talking about. There are many politicians who talk very nicely to get the votes. When they get the votes, they don't care about people. They just do what they want to do. So don't let politics come into your relationships. And it is you too supposed to be bonding on consciousness level and see if your values meet. That's what's important, not your political ideas. Alex, hello from Russia. Очень приятно. Рад с вами познакомиться, Alex. Your videos were of great help when I was dumped back in 2015. You think you were dumped? You were probably, it was probably your lucky day, because if it's not working, one of you got to sever it. And if you're dumped or if you're rejected or whatever, that has nothing to do with your value. It just means it wasn't working together. It wasn't in harmony. It wasn't compatible. And that is good to know and get away from it as soon as you can. Invest your time on somebody more suitable. So good to see you, Alex. Thanks for being here. Now, Alex, you are in Russia, but are you Russian? Your last name doesn't seem to be pronounced in a Russian way, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you're just having fun there, or you're working there or something. Anyhow, thanks for being here. Alan says, what do you think is the most important thing for the right match? How would I know what's the most important thing for you in a match that is for you? I know what's the most important thing for me, but I can't know what level of expectations of life and goals you have and you operate on, and therefore I can't. But one thing is for sure, that you guys need to understand, beside all the 450 videos that I have already produced for you, you need to understand all of that, or at least some of it. But you need to understand each other's consciousness, how it operates, and understand how your consciousnesses are put together. Therefore, that is the roots and basis of your differences, divisions, and conflicts. And if that is clear to you, at least you're aware of it, both of you, then you'll have a more pleasant time, or a pleasant time, or somewhat a possible time to negotiate each other's differences, or at least know where it's coming from. It's not a conflict based on negativity or purposefulness to diss you, to be against you. It's the way each one of your consciousnesses are put together, and it's operating according to the field of the known, where the thoughts are born from it, and the thoughts born from different field of the known between the two of you will be different, and each thought, as being different, will result in a different action, and the action brings different experiences and different knowledge, and that adds to your memory and creates your consciousness again. So that cycle is what makes the two of you feel not compatible or have differences. If you understand the mechanics and process of these differences, this division, then you would be more inclined to sort it out and resolve it, and together create a new order and be able to be more compatible, at least work towards it, to understand each other better and bond on a conscious level and be aware of why these differences are there. It's not just simply to defy each other. Perhaps that would answer some of your question, or part of your question. Alex, nice Russian, yeah, okay, good. But you didn't answer my question. Are you Russian, or are you just there to check things out and see how life is in Russia and enjoy getting new culture, learning new cultures, and socializing with people, or is it for a job? Yeah, in general, Alan, then I think that would be your answer. Alex says, my last name probably comes from Mongolian, Khan Giray dynasty. Oh, okay. Or something. Khan Giray, Mongolian. You know, we studied Mongolian history, Genghis Khan, Temur Khan, and Hulagu Khan, Kublai Khan, and all these. I don't remember Giray dynasty or Giray Khan. Maybe Giray was out on hunt and I didn't meet him. Anyhow, good to know you, Alex, and thank you for being here. You're welcome. Are you saying Giray is Genghis Khan? Okay, then I've heard of him. He is well known everywhere. Okay, now let's see, what time is it? Here's my timekeeper. Prince, where are you? What's the time? How far are we into this today's discussion? Where's my timekeeper? Do I have to check the time myself here? There it is, 11:48. Okay, thank you. All right, guys, we have another, 10-15 minutes. Alex, thank you. Oh, Prince, thank you. So we can just discuss a couple more questions, and then we'll get out of your hair, and you guys can have a wonderful weekend. And if you celebrate Easter, celebrate your Easter, and have a wonderful week, which is ahead of you. But in the meantime, we're still here. And let's see if we have any more questions to deal with. No? Okay. If we have no questions, we can say goodbye now. And tomorrow, as you know, I have another live talk at The Amazing Things in the World, and that would start at 11 o'clock as well. I will put the post on the Facebook page. If you guys haven't liked the Facebook page that you're on now, please like the page so you'll know the post that comes on, and also I'll see how many people that we have in our little community. Alex says, what made you start making videos on breakups? Okay. Sunil Lal, is time traveling possible? In a way, yes, but not the way you think, because I don't know about that, but I hope it will be, because that would be wonderful. But we've talked about, in one of my books, Me, My Psyche, and I, we talked about how to stop time, and we talked about time and thought. And time and thought is the same. And there's a seminar I did on fear, the end of fear, in one of the local universities last year, and the video of it is the free sample of it is on my site, which you can watch, but I've already now freed it. It's listed on the YouTube. You can go and say The End of Fear, and it will show you. It's a 1-hour seminar. It talks about relationship between thought and fear. And there's also a segment that I have on YouTube, says Thought and Time. I believe it says that, or time. What is time? It says what is time. If you search for it like that, it'll come in and it'll tell you what I could have answered you here to save time. But on the type of traveling, physical travel that you're talking about in time, I hope that will be something possible. That would be just magnificent, wouldn't it? Now, Alex was saying, what makes you start on making videos? Well, it basically, I think, started when I was on a vacation with my son and his girlfriend. And so, we were talking about things, and sometimes when I was talking to my son at one time, many years ago, about, challenges in relationship, boys and girls, and girlfriend, boyfriends constantly break up and get together and all that. So when he was going through one of, his relationships, and he had questions, and we were talking about it, and we got to the subject of breakup and so on, and then I decided that, our conversation was very helpful, and then I put a few things on on YouTube, and of course from my own experiences in life about how to interact with the exes, positively interaction with the exes, and started, and many people commented back and all that, and then I got into heavy research about the role of thoughts and consciousness and fears and desire and ego for a few years, and from masters of hundreds of years ago, 100 years ago, who started it all. And I've mentioned how I did that in many of other live talks. And then with my own experience and understanding of mind and body coordination, and our relationship between the nature and relationship between our energy and the energy of the universe, and be able to understand all the other things about the content of our consciousness, the relationship between our thoughts and consciousness and fears, desires and egos and so on, and be able to deliver it and explore it more and further, learn from the old masters and add whatever I could from my own experiences and learning in life. Then the whole thing generated lots of positive effects on people's lives around the world, and they send me comments and send me what is being done to them and how helpful it is, and so we just went on. It just took on what it was supposed to take on, because I guess that was what I've always wanted to do ever since much younger years. Always interested in understanding these things myself, and then I have this affinity and interest to help young or old people who are going through certain kind of challenges and pains of emotional pain, and I know how difficult that is. Sufferings, I don't like it, and I wish to be part of a solution, and with the little I can do, that's what I do. That's basically my motivation. Now, hopefully, you guys will come to your senses and learn these things for yourselves and explore it by yourselves and add to it, understand it. Which means you got to buy my books, of course. That's the whole idea. Learning more. Because it's one thing to come and constantly ask questions and rely on me or somebody else to give you answers. But it's another thing when you can be the machine to actually analyze and know exactly how this works. That's why I wrote these books, for you to actually read them, and made these videos for you to actually watch them and learn to become your own analytical power, your own understanding of how this whole thing works and connected, and then you're free. You're free from being dependent on things where you can always figure it out yourself inside your own head. by yourself by constantly questioning it and analyzing it. But then you have all the work done for you, all the videos. If you go to my channel and go on the playlist, The Psyche, and you go through that, you will learn so much about how this functions that you become as if you have just opened your eyes and you're alert and aware of how this machine functions. So the outside will not dictate how you should react or act or believe or be fooled by your own thoughts, because you know how it was put together, where it's coming from, how it is functioning, why. And then you will be free from your own thoughts even when it's being destructive or annoying or misleading. Okay, now let's see what else. Now you know, Alex. So Neil says, is time travel? Okay, we talked about that. Don Diego, you were quiet, eh? What do you think is the most important thing to have for a good life? Sanity, clarity, health. Take care of your health. Eat good stuff. Drink good water. Exercise. Mental and physical health. And for that, you know what to do about the physical end, and you know now you know here about how to learn about your mental functions and mental process. And so you won't be fooled, as the biggest stumbling block in the world, really, in many cases, many ways, is your own mind, your own thoughts. And when you believe your own thoughts, because it's happening inside you, you give it a certain credibility. Then what comes to your mind, because it happens inside you, you think, then I am credible, I know the source, and human being believes what he knows and what he sees, or what he trusts the source of it. And when the thought appears in your head, and it's your head, and you know that you trust yourself because it's you, therefore you believe that that thought is actually accurate, correct. You believe it, which is bullshit. Thought is stupid. Most thoughts have no reality, have no truth to them. They're misleading. They appear in your head, negative thoughts or whatever, and you believe it, and therefore on that premise you become concerned and have questions. And because it's your thought, then you think it must be true. No, it's not. That's why you got to be aware of it. Thought is just nonsense. Most thoughts are bullshit. You got to know that. To know that, you got to understand how it's formed. That's why you need to watch the videos or get a hold of one of my books that talks about thoughts and consciousness and how thought is born and how it's created and all that so forth. And you see the process. Or the transient thoughts, the thoughts that you never invited them, they happen to appear in your head and mislead you and make you wonder what is thought about, where did it come from, what does it have to do with me, does it represent me, what does it mean to me, what should I handle it, how do I manage it. All that is in this other book, Transient Thoughts and Me, and Me, My Psyche and I. They're all available on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com, and these are what helps you to understand what you need to understand, so you won't be misled by your own thoughts, because thoughts is the biggest liar to you yourself, and it can have a profound effect on how you see world. So you got to know, and just like you check every other information that you receive and its authenticity, you got to check and check the authenticity of your own thoughts. And for that you need to know how the thought is born. Then you know you can't trust it unless you have enough evidence, and just the thought itself is not an evidence. Thought is thought. It's just garbage, nonsense. It's not an evidence by itself. So in many cases you just can't rely or trust or believe your thoughts. So that's why this whole thing functions, and that would be helpful. Sunil says, does time and money grow simultaneously? Money grows on well, it has two different things. No. check out what is time on one of my videos, and the money bit is just another thing that you need to make it on your own. It's got nothing to do with time. Then it has some relationship maybe later on, but I don't know exactly what you're talking about here. So Alex says, thanks for explanation, my pleasure. Sunil says, haha, okay. Sunil is from Toronto. Oh, Seti, where have you been? You just showed up. At the end of the class, you're late now. Go and stand beside on the corner of the class. Can this functioning help with the anxiety about health issues? Trying to help someone I know, she thinks positive, but the issue won't go away. Thanks for advice. Seti, this is very closed question. I don't quite understand the detail of it. Therefore, it's hard to understand. Say, can this function? Maybe you're referring to one of the things that I was talking about, but because I've been talking about so many things, I don't know which part of my conversation you're referring to. So I really don't know what you mean when you say, can this functioning help with the anxiety? Because I don't know what functioning you're referring to, because I don't remember what part of my talk you're referring to. So it needs to be a little bit more elaborate. So it just won't go away. Again, perhaps I'm just reading between the lines. You may be talking about transient thoughts, or thoughts that comes into her mind, and these negative thoughts, and that has nothing to do with the actuality and facts. It's just a thought, and that's why you need to know how thoughts are made, what transient thoughts are. Those which are, of course, again, available on my Transient Thoughts and Me book, and Me, My Psyche and I, which sample chapters are available on my site. But say, dear, it's almost the end of our time for today. But perhaps tomorrow you can come on the Amazing Things in the World Facebook page, which we have another. You can look at some of the videos and find your answer there, or at some other opportunity with more clear question. I would be more clear to how to answer that. So, everyone, I thank you again for being here. I appreciate your time and spending time with me and allowing me to share with you some information and opinions, and hope that you will have a wonderful weekend. Happy Easter, the ones who celebrate it, and hope you will have a wonderful week and negotiate your path perfectly as best as you can. And okay, Seti, thank you. And again, look forward to see you next week or tomorrow at the other page. I'll put the post on the Facebook page of Mind That Seeks Truth that you're on right now, and you'll see the post for tomorrow's link. Love you all. Thank you very much for being here. See you soon, and be good to yourself and to the others. Bye for now.